I know I'm a bit late to the party, seeing as Steep was released about a year ago. But when Steep was announced, I was so excited. An open world snowboard game with wingsuits and everything? I had to double check which E3 stream I was watching, as I wanted it to be EA, and for it to be a new SSX game. When I was promptly told that it was being developed at Ubisoft, I had my doubts. Was this finally going to be a really good snowboard game? Was this going to be what I wanted SSX, the new one that came out in 2012, to be? Was this going to be the winter game for me? I held off from buying it when it was released last year because Christmas came around and I had other things to think about and other games to play. But I always had it at the back of my mind. And this Black Friday I really pulled the trigger and decided to get it with all its DLC. So how is the gameplay? You may or may not ask. It's fun. It does not feature insane tricks and uber monster tricky systems like an SSX game, but it goes for a more realistic approach. But it still has that wonky can I pull this off vibe to it, and I love that. It's honestly a sandbox with so much to do. The mountains you can play around on are huge and they offer a pretty okay amount of variety. The main map is sorta like the challenge map from SSX on Tour, only in 3D. You can pick any point on the map and you go there. From there you can free ride or even take on a challenge on the way down. The map is cut into 4 different mountains in 4 different areas that they sorta go into each other. They honestly don't feel different enough to call them different mountains though. And there are also specific spots that you can unlock by leveling up or by using a really annoying gimmick, the binoculars. You have to scout from a specific location and you have to look directly at it. It's stupid. And even if you're just like 2 meters away, you have to get on a snowboard, go down those 2 meters, and then you can look at it. At least sometimes it's okay to just run over the spot, which I find pretty okay. There are about 8 different sports that you can play with, although most of them are just clones of others. Like you have the wingsuit, and then you have the rocket wingsuit. Do I need the rocket wingsuit? No. Do I love the rocket wingsuit? Hell yeah. You have a snowboard, skis, speed racing, parachute, wingsuit, the rocket wingsuit, and of course the best one, sled. There are challenges for most of the sports, but I haven't played it enough to know if there's at least one for all of them. The multiplayer aspect of this game is phenomenal. When SSX came out in 2012, I hoped its multiplayer would be as good as this. It works kind of like Destiny. You meet different people randomly around the mountain and then invite them to your session and share scores and locations. It's really fun finding people at a challenge and joining them so that all of you can share a leaderboard and compete against one another and against the challenge itself. The only problem here is that there doesn't seem to be a lot of players. Although that is not Ubisoft nor Steep's fault. But that being said, I have found many players around the mountain while playing this game, and I've had a lot of fun with many different people, both with and without voice chat. The best thing about Steep is the whole sensation of freedom. I can do whatever I like in this huge sandbox. If I just want to chill or ride down the mountain on a sled, or if I want to go hardcore and do a really hard timer challenge on a wingsuit, I can do that. There's so much to do and sometimes it honestly feels a bit daunting to think about. That is why it's very nice that the game often tells you where to go next or gives you tips on what you could be spending your time on. Customization. This is one of the features I honestly feel is not present enough. You can buy gear and clothing with an in-game currency that you get from completing challenges and achievements. The biggest issue here is that there's so little to choose from, and most of the cool gear is locked behind Ubisoft's stupid Ubisoft Club, where you have to earn separate Ubisoft points to buy them. Another thing that's both cool and a bit tedious is that you can customize your outfit for each of the sports. My issue here is that if I want my character to look mostly the same in all sports, I have to go into each sport and change what I want to change. It's not terrible, but I wish there was a way to equip the same stuff for all sports right away. And that being said as well, there is a lot of cool gear for like the wingsuit and the rocket wingsuit, and sometimes I wish I could get that gear for all the other sports as well. So what do I think about Steep? Should you get it? It honestly all depends on whether or not you feel the need for a new snowboard/snow sport game. I got tired of the old SSX game pretty quickly, and this is exactly what I was looking for back then. It's fast paced, the controls are fluid, the map feels connected, and the world is a delight to explore. And if that's not all, the game is pretty much always on sale somewhere, and they just released new DLC for it, so it's the perfect time to just get it, pick it up, and go. Steep is a definite buy for any snowsport fan.
Right into your mind. Deja vu.